Welcome to the Mechanical Room. A Centrotherm production focusing on all things in and around the HVAC industry. And now, your hosts, Michael Sakaris and Matthew Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and safe venting enthusiasts the world over, welcome to the Rob Mahoney edition of the 2025 kickoff episode of The Mechanical Room. Robert.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Blue Room.
Hey, good to be here. Good to be back.
We have a little homage to our fearless leader here. He is mired in a different conference room here. He's being
one of the many,
I think, bludgeoned from all sides with questions and strategy and all that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, he would love to be here.
Of course.
But he is taken away, and we have a very suitable candidate in his stead. So, how you been? How's the new year treating you, sir?
Been good. It's been good. It's New Year was zany. I spent some time with the family at the end of the year, which is always nice.
It depends on the family, but
Yeah, for my family, it was good. I got a 2-year-old nephew now, and that holidays when you got a 2-year-old. That's the tops, man. We got a nice fun little Hot Wheel car.
That was the Christmas present that Uncle Rob brought in?
So I didn't get that. Okay. I got to give credit. My Pop Duke's got that for him. Okay. I did not have as good. He won Christmas, my dad did, because he got him that Hot Wheels car. I got him this, they call it, play furniture.
Okay.
It's like a couch that you can make into forts and stuff like that.
All right.
Which was also a blast.
Yeah, that sounds great.
For being inside.
I want one. Size for my 5'9" body.
It was actually great. They have these little wedges. I was laying on my back and put the wedges under my knee. It's highly recommended for adults as well.
They should. There's not enough offer for adult toys like that, you know?
There is, for sure, not enough out there in the world. Do you know how happy I would be if most of my house was actually just a fort of pillows and mattresses and,
I want a Ben Thompson action figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. HVAC strong. It comes with the the kilt.
Yeah.
It comes with the hammer of Thor on that for that guy, or weights maybe.
We just discovered something great. I think we need to make HVAC action figures. I don't know who we have to talk to. Is Mattel? Is that who you still talk to for these things?
Kenner perhaps did that. Kenner was the one that famously they did the Star Wars toys. There's a whole
for sure
whole story about I think it was Mattel rejecting the concept of this weird sci-fi thing, and then this upstart toy company saying Kenner going, oh yeah. The four? Let's give it a shot, right? And then of course the Star Wars toys became a monster thing. And
you think someone got fired at Mattel?
Probably not, because they had they were busy with, I think Mattel does G.I. Joe also in addition to Barbie, so they had their stuff.
You think Mattel's all right?
I think they were doing okay. Enough so that they could strategically reject a potential thing that we just don't have. This is not our core competency. It's handbags and pink Corvettes or whatever it was.
Sure.
So this weird star stuff, I can't do it. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. There is a documentary that probably explains that.
Yeah.
And there definitely is somebody at Mattel, possibly dead at this point. It's 50 years ago, but somebody who definitely was I made the wrong decision on that old Star Wars thing. For sure. Going to their grave
about it now, right?
Or
probably
on their deathbed, they're like,
Star Wars. Oh, Lucas came to me. I could have had it all. No.
Yes, exactly.
My empire. Oh no, the empire struck back for sure. Yeah, right, exactly. Oh my God, so corny.
So true though. And it's just like anything. Opportunities come, they arise, they pass.
That's
It's a wild thing. And how the hell do we start talking about Star Wars figures?
Action figures for the HVAC world.
Yes.
We have to start working on this.
If we had like a Mike Mayberry action figure.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want one of these, and I also want it. I want some of them to have pull a string, and then it diagnoses my furnace.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to actually give Buddy the plumber a shout out.
Oh my God,
I want him to record some vocals for a pull string action figure.
Absolutely,
Buddy, if you're listening right now, and I hope that you are. Yeah. We need to get on this.
Some pure South Boston voiceover.
Oh my God,
it would be Buddy would be a prime candidate for an action figure.
Amazing. Yeah, I would love it. Yeah.
He's his accessories could be the truck horn.
Yeah.
A drone.
I almost forgot about the truck horn when he came up to visit.
I will never forget that. Legendary time.
Oh, too good.
Of course, the Buddy one could have his tattoos. Buddy actually he just sent me the other day. He got a very large portrait of his dad dressed as Santa. There's like this. Buddy was very close with his father. I think his father's passed on at this point, but an homage kind of tattoo. There's a photo that I've seen of his dad dressed as Santa, which Buddy also does now, like uphold the tradition here. So he got a very large dad Santa tattoo on his forearm, and it looked amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'd have to obviously, realistic tattoos on these action figures.
Oh, of course. So, obviously, yeah, especially for us, right? The Centrotherm folks, we all need to have the realistic tattoos.
We're going to go through the entire color palette on us.
That's right. That's right.
But actually, and also some copyright infringement on me. You as well.
It's fine. I wouldn't worry
it's like
too much about
the Powder Puff people are going to start coming after you.
It's fine. It's all the Nicktoons will be coming for me.
Oh, they could roll that into one class action lawsuit.
That's
then.
Right. Just all at once. Yeah, they could all gang up and
efficient
and take my tens of dollars. Yeah.
Very efficient way to do it. That would be. I mean, it would be really funny to do that. I wonder if I was a sculptor. Then take a little clay and quickly just bang it out, and you can kind of make them, quick, whatever. Yeah. Just have one. I am not a sculptor, so I can't do this. We'll figure out a way to do this, though. It'd be very, very funny. A comic book series would be kind of funny too.
That would be great. A comic book series would be really fun. But I just thought you can make your own pop figures. I believe you have one.
I have one.
Yes, I have a Funko Pop of myself as well.
Yeah.
That's what we should be doing. That's where we should get into it.
That's interesting. I think that they're not terribly expensive.
They weren't bad.
So.
All right, we got an idea, a whole separate thing from this.
Oh, I wonder how quickly they can come. It's like we get the Rep of the Year one, it's like just like looks like the guy or something like that, or present Dan with one, give him like a little white goatee on his, something like that, and like a little snazzy suit. Everybody's got their stuff. Kara actually got me mine for Christmas, I think last year.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a great gift.
It's right on my. It's in view. On.
She crushes the gift giving.
She does.
She really does. She got me a Tide stick.
Thoughtful
which is
gal.
Only part of the gift. The Tide stick itself probably doesn't sound as exciting.
Well, but you
to
just
those of you
spilling spaghetti sauce all over yourself?
That's basically what it was. She was like, you're a fairly snazzy dresser. Why don't you have a Tide stick?
Gotta have
I was like, I don't know. And so then it led to this whole thing.
Your vehicle doesn't have a washer dryer in the trunk?
No, it does not. It does not. It should, though.
It'd be an interesting accessory.
It would be great for me.
With
how much I'm on the road.
Yeah.
I met a guy once who did the same thing I did, travels, up and down the East Coast. He actually had the whole country. And he would only bring 2 outfits with him. And he would wear the one, drop the other one off at the lobby of the hotel and have them clean it for him every day.
That's got to add up. I mean, that's not economical overall.
I didn't think so at all.
So there's another guy, and I'll leave his name. I'll tell you afterwards. Some folks who are long-standing Centrotherm people will know this story because it's famous. This guy, his first trip westward, let's say, he's on the road with somebody who had been our rep for a very long time.
Okay.
And they're out, and they're doing they're in Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, like that, like a big, like an area that is known for its highway and lengthy drives, right? So they're going out, and I think it was like a 3 or a 4 day excursion into this area.
Sure, and that was just to get from one call to the next.
Right, exactly, precisely. So Karis is rolling out, and he's got probably 2 carry-ons, and he's got one check bag. He's got a garment bag with suit jackets. He's got one that's just for his cool glasses, the whole 9 yards, right?
A watch box.
Exactly. One of those like hat boxes that you see in Dallas, you know what I mean? Those things crack me up, man.
Yeah, showing up for the Derby.
Yeah, exactly.
The Derby hat, he shows up. I can totally see Mike with one of those.
So Karis has got his toiletries, he's got his carry-on, he's got his check bag, his hat box, the watch box, he's got his gun box, he's got,
box for everything.
He needs a U-Haul truck to carry stuff. He doesn't really.
You got something you want to put in a box? He's got
it. That being said, so obviously I'm joking. He travels with a carry-on like anybody would.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's got a suitcase and a bag like a normal human being. Gets in the car with the rep. It's like, we're going out on the road for 72 hours, 4 days, whatever it is, right? Yeah. And the guy had like nothing with him. Like he had a backpack that had like papers and stuff in it. Yeah. So Mike's like, are you wearing clothes? Like, what's going on here? And so the story goes, my man was like wearing, kind of like exclusively sort of the water wicking, quick drying type of stuff.
Okay.
And he specifically mentioned, I want to say he called it special underwear. And I guess he would retire to his, DoubleTree room, his Fairfield Inn, wherever they're staying. I think he would pretty much strip down, and he would hand wash his singular outfit, and then he would
like
wait
in the sink.
Yeah. Like you use whatever soaps are in the thing, and just I assume he was using soap. Maybe he was just running water on it. Maybe he was making up a whole story about this. Do not know. I don't know. Hope you're doing okay out there, guy. Because if you're watching this, you'll know we're talking about you.
Yeah.
And so he would hand wash his one outfit. He had one pair of underwear for 4 days. To I mean, they wear out pretty quick if you do it like that. But hey.
Yeah.
There is something to be said about not carrying stuff with you.
So I'm always looking for, and if anybody out there has any
travel
stuff
hacks
with
and
this,
stuff
travel
like that.
hacks, always. I am constantly looking for stuff.
Yeah.
I'm slightly mad at the suitcase that I have that I've spent the last year with, and it's worked, but it comes up and then angles a little bit. So I feel like I'm losing that little bit extra cubby space.
Interesting.
And there are times, most of the time, it's a couple days, right? I fly out on a Monday. I'm usually back by Thursday.
It becomes harder in the winter if you got to bring outerwear.
That's exactly it, man. It's just because, I'm going down south, and normally it's warm down there, but I still got to get a coat when I come back to New York because it's cold here.
Yeah.
So
you ever leave an extra garment in the car?
I do, but then it's cold when you get in your car.
Yeah.
Although I have an app for my car now.
Oh, remote starter?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, we've done too many apps. There's too many apps, right? I know this is gonna sound like an old man take, but there's too many apps. But the one nice thing is when my plane lands, flip back on my service, flip it out of airplane mode, and then I start my car. That is for sure something that I will pay for a subscription for going forward for the rest of my life, because up here, when you get back to your car and it's toasty warm,
yeah, it's
great.
not like cold and other things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a remote starter on my car. So this morning, 7 below, right? It was frigid cold.
Insane.
I mean, I ran outside in kind of like in this outfit, without even outerwear, just to turn my car on to run back in to warm it up like that. I do it the old-fashioned way.
See, I hate that.
So
though.
it's not. I mean, not
that's
great.
Not for me.
I don't have a fancy car, sir.
Back to the travel hacks, though. No way am I just carrying one outfit.
Yeah, no, impossible.
But also, I want to hear more about that strategy, because if I could get it down to 2, because I don't see the same people very often right in a row.
Right.
So I could switch it up without them really
You wear the
knowing.
same sweater, of course. You wear the same
sweater's fine, right?
Yeah.
I'll do the same sweater on a trip. That's fine. That part I don't care about. But I'm really I don't wear the same pair of pants twice. I wash them in between every single one.
Even jeans?
Even jeans.
Really?
Man.
That's a lot. I mean, I'll get a good 3-4 days out of the jeans, I think. Seems reasonable.
I used to be way more lax about it. I am very religious about getting all of my stuff washed. I think it's because how often I'll just sometimes plans will change and I have to get up and be ready. So it's more of just
having
preparedness and being ready to roll type of thing.
I mean, and also circumstantially, right? I get significantly less wears out of my jeans during the summertime if it's hot and sweaty or something, or if you spill something or whatever it is, right? Like today, if I just came here, sat down in this chair, went back home.
Those are 2-day jeans.
We can do it 2 days. We can do it 2 days.
Those are 3-day jeans.
Possibly.
4 days?
Long? Oh yeah, I could get 4 days.
5?
Probably not 5.
Not 5.
Not 5.
5's the limit.
Well, it's not the limit, and I guess any port in a storm, depending on what's going on. I mean, if you're in a pinch,
listen, don't get me wrong. If I'm going out to run out to the store or something, this brings up an actual question that I've had, because I've been discussing this a lot with my friends. This has nothing to do with Centrotherm or anything, but I think it's worth talking about.
Almost none of this conversation has.
Do you, if you're leaving your house to go out somewhere just to grab something quick, go down corner store, grab a gallon of milk, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
Do you get if you're wearing sweats or something like that, do you just go out in sweats or whatever, or do you actually put on an outfit to go out of your house?
So I don't really wear sweatpants too much. If I'm at home,
what's your lounging around the house?
Usually it's going to be Adidas pants, which are and I will say my wife does a good job of keeping when it gets ratty, they get donated. So I don't really have I don't have red sweatpants with the elastic at the bottom.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
no,
I'm just not. I just don't have that outfit. So now the one thing I will say is, I will wear Crocs, and you know what I mean. So I won't put. I'm not going to wear sneakers with no socks. So but if I'm just barefooting around and I need to literally go get milk or go to the store, or even better example would be it's a Sunday night. I'm just watching TV or whatever, and we order takeout or something like that. And I literally just have to run in and pick up sushi. Yeah. I will definitely wear Crocs.
So
like that.
I have converted myself into a, especially on a Sunday, a lazy Sunday, right? Watching football. I'm a sweatpants guy, sweatshirt. But if I go out to make a quick errand, I change.
Popping the jeans on?
Yeah, pop jeans on. You know, it's depending on what the sweatshirt is. If it's a reasonable hoodie, I'll throw that on.
Yeah, so I mean, I by and large wouldn't wear sweatpants out. The Adidas pants are pretty close to outerwear. I mean, they're cleaner. They're a little bit more fashion forward.
Yeah.
It's not quite like they're loungy. Don't get me wrong.
But the '90s kids version of the jogger.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
You know, we were. You know, that was kind of the thing back in our day.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. I didn't. Yeah, for sure. And my wife would say that that's not sufficient. Like she wouldn't leave the house without a little bit more attention to herself. That kind of thing.
I get like actually dressed when
I mean, one thing that I will do sometimes, depending on like what my hair looks like, I might throw like a winter hat on in this time around.
Same with my hair. So, when mine's getting unruly, I'll definitely throw the hat on. It's
beard hat. It's like a little
beard hat
under style snapback.
Toss me a hat real quick. Let's see if we're on to something here.
Fitted hat beard.
Woo!
How come nobody?
Oh man!
How come nobody's made the hat beard
good.
yet?
Check it out. We got a hat beard.
Yeah, that's not bad.
What do we got?
You just got to turn the logo upside down correctly, and you'd be good.
Yeah, I think we're on to something.
Also
works as a dish to catch your food. This is actually going to be really useful.
It's not bad.
What do you guys think?
It's like eating tacos like that. You just have like you have a new taco waiting in your brim.
Dude, you go hard taco or soft taco?
You're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna say I'm not really a huge tacos fan. I'm just not. If I go to a Mexican restaurant, the likelihood is that I order something more like a carne asada, that's like an entree, even at a soft or at like a fast food or a short order type of Mexican place, the likelihood is I'm going to get like a chimichanga or an enchilada.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat it with my hands. It's messy.
Yeah,
that's part
my problem. I really enjoy a taco, but I have to go soft taco because the hard taco just crumbles all over. But now with this new beard hat, I think might be able to change it up.
We got to try this later on. I'm changing the restaurant for tonight. We're going to the sloppiest taco bar in the Capital District, and I'm gonna say make them extra sloppy.
So.
All right. On that note, thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This is Mr. Rob Mahoney sitting in for Mr. Mike Sakaris, and we are going to march headlong into the interview portion here. We're chatting with Travis Abaire today. You know him.
I do.
We all know him. We love him. One of the finest guys on the interwebs and on the Instagram there. A real earnest and honest guy. He's going to tell you how. We chatted. Full disclosure, we have already conducted this interview. Super engaging, lots of interesting stuff. Guy is very honest, and he's at the top of the trade. So I mean, really, really good stuff.
I had a great time talking to him in Miami.
Current Vega press master. I asked him if he was I called him a former press master. I did not realize it's almost it's not quite a lifetime designation, but you're not it's not like a one person per the year. When I was there last year, you were with me.
Yeah,
when
we were there at the booth.
Yes, exactly. So they were crowning Tyler Dines as a new press master, and I for whatever reason,
you thought it went on.
I thought it was it's passing the torch, right? And it's like this is the guy for this year, like how you win Wimbledon or something like that, right? And then you own the trophy for that time, or Miss America, and then
they should get a belt, WWE style belt for the press master.
I think that they should get an action figure.
Man, bringing it around. That's expertly done, sir. Expertly done.
Thank you. So on that note, we're going to talk to Travis Abaire. We'll be back next month with some more show pipe stuff and more of this chatter that involves hat beards and action figures. Talk to you.
Take care.
Welcome back to the Mechanical Room, and we bring in today one of my personal favorite tradesmen, a man who I've now known for a couple of years, got to know a little bit, met your beautiful wife, Mr. Travis Abaire, one of the top guys throughout the country, a former Vega press master, and someone with a very good online following, who's always showing what he's working on, showing the professionalism, and really uplifting the trades. The exact kind of person we like to welcome here into the Mechanical Room. Travis, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing pretty well for a 0-degree day. doing okay.
Yeah, you don't have any outdoor stuff scheduled for today, do you?
No, fortunately not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything this week? Have you been frosted out this week at all?
Well, I had a boiler swap out to do yesterday, so that means no heat there.
Okay. How's that person? Was that in a residence?
3 family. It was a 3 family.
3 families. So those people were pretty frosty. How long was there? How long were they without heat for?
When did we shut them down? I think we shut them down around 9 a.m. and we had them back up and running by 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay, so they were not frozen out. It wasn't like
No.
an extended period of time where they were like worried about the pipes freezing or sitting there in the cold. You had them back and warmed up, in a
Yeah.
workday, essentially.
Yeah, we told them before we came, like about a good 2 hours before we show up, crank the heat and get your places as warm as possible, even if you're smoking yourselves out.
That's a brilliant. I never thought about that piece of advice. That's a brilliant idea. Get it up there, and the higher it goes, the more it can dissipate and still be comfortable. So, amazing, amazing. That's I think that's one of the. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, I do have one correction to make for you though. I'm not a former Vega pressmaster. I still am.
Oh, even better. Is that a lifetime appointment?
Not currently.
So
But I think I'm about to roll into year 4 with them now.
So what is okay? So I only know. I mean, I'm a you know me pretty well. I'm not a technical person. I am a jazz piano player that somehow found his way into a plastics manufacturer, and thus I'm mechanical room adjacent, and I don't know shit about any of this stuff. I rely on you experts to teach me. I know that Vega is press technology, and that you use the the little gun to seal them together. I do believe it's gas lines for Vega.
So Vega does gas is one of them. They've got all kinds of different applications. They have copper press for water. They got Pure Flow, which is their PEX. So they do plastic. So they do PEX lines for both domestic and heating applications.
Okay.
Then they do stainless. They do different variations of their carbon steel mega press fitting for whatever the application is. The sealing element is really the only thing that changes inside of it, depending on what you're doing. So they got a whole spectrum of different applications.
Do you have to renew your Pressmaster license? I was there last year when I thought you were passing the crown to Tyler, who is, I guess, a current Pressmaster also.
Yeah. So it wasn't a passing of the crown; it was in addition. He was being added
welcome into the fold. I see. Okay, and there's the fellow from All Star Plumbing. I want to say his name is also Matt, but I'm not. It is. Who else is on this amazing roster of Vega Pressmasters, and what amazing accolades also come with this?
So currently, to my knowledge, the only one that you're missing is Jonathan Cheevers from Team Cheevers. Yeah, he's an ex-Olympic snowboarder that's got his own plumbing and heating company. Yeah, he was actually when he was a pro snowboarder, Vega actually sponsored him. He had like Vega snowboards and stuff.
So was he doing installations at the same time as he was Olympic training, or how does that connection happen?
In talking to him, I believe so. His father actually, I think he's second generation because he's originally grew up in Massachusetts, and so his father had his own plumbing and HVAC company, and now that he's out in Utah, he's got his own, and it's doing really well. Actually, I think he's gotten pretty big.
Good for him. That's amazing. That's fascinating that they can get that sort of outside of the industry type of sponsorship. It kind of just shows that Vega has got their feelers up, and it's an interesting company and certainly supportive of their installers as we are. I look to Vega for inspiration a lot of times. We're kind of a similar German owned type of company with some similar corporate structures and things like that. They're obviously much larger than we are, but they're fascinating, interesting, and I will say that I love my Vega hoodie that I have.
Oh, the hoodies are awesome. But to go back to the trade master, it's not really a certification per se. It's more of their version of their influencer program, if you want to call it that.
Gotcha. So how often are you hit up on social media randomly by people who need to learn about Vega, and or I guess sort of in general? You are a very personable guy. I really enjoy your content because I learn a lot from folks like you. Are you constantly getting questions? Are you answering tech support from strangers at times?
Sometimes, not often. Sometimes, I get a few that want to know about pure flow, what type of PEX, because there's different types. There's type A, there's B, and there's C. So they want to know why I chose B over A, because they think it's a grading. But with PEX, A, B, C, it may seem like a grading of like a good, better, best, but it's not. It's just it's just a designation of how it's made. That's it.
Gotcha.
So it's not like a good, better, best scenario, though some people will take it and run with that. Because like, oh, PEX A, that means it's the best.
A plus,
yeah, it's
right?
good. I've used it for years. It's not bad at all. But PEX B isn't bad either. It's just
just different applications, right?
Yeah. Just how you put it
Interesting. Okay, so to ask another question about social media, right? So you've been now a prominent Instagrammer for several years at this point. I'm curious to just get into your mindset of when you first started that account. Did you have any idea it would take you to certain places and open certain doors for you? What was your mentality at the beginning? And now in 2025, you being an inspiration for some people, I'm curious as to know who are your inspirations, even in the past or current, right? So how did you get where you are? What was your mentality at the onset of dipping your toe into the social media pool? And then who did you look to for inspiration, or did you just, or who did naturally inspire you to be the person who now inspires others?
So in the very beginning, when I started this page, my wife actually started it because we opened it when we started our company, thinking it would be another advertising platform. But little did I know that that's not what it's all about. It's more about community and things of that nature, and what we can do, what we see each other doing that can improve us, and improve our installs and improve what we do for service. Little tricks, tips, that kind of thing that would just make us better. That's really what the platform is for. I get next to no business off social media. I could probably count on both my hands the amount of phone calls I've gotten for my social media pages. So it's really not like an advertising thing for me. It didn't work out that way. It's more of a community thing. That's really, and I didn't realize that in the very beginning. I'm like, oh, hey, it's another form of advertising. And then after a few months of looking, I'm like, that's not even what this is all about. There's very little advertising I'm going to be able to do on this except marketing myself and hoping someone sees it.
Sure. I mean, I think there is a wrong-headed understanding, at least I'll say from the manufacturing standpoint, that the utilization of social media should be, sort of a direct pipeline towards sales, right? And for you, it's clearly not a business bolstering situation. Instead, it helps you build your brand, maintain network with the community, which is exactly the same way I think that the good manufacturers, at least in my opinion, utilize these tools as well. I don't think anybody really wants to be hard sold, so to speak. Right. And I won't name any names, but there are certain manufacturers who I don't think have a person in place that kind of gets that. And as a result, most of their stuff is basically just commercials that are easily scrolled past. Is that something you would agree with?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. When I see an advertisement, I just keep for like a company, and it's very cookie cutter. Something you would see on TV. I'm just like scrolling past it. I don't want to see that. It's not why I'm on this app.
So then I do want to come back to your inspirations, because I'm curious as to who informs your style and who has taught you a little bit about social media and what you've learned and all that sort of stuff. But now that you brought that sort of concept up, I'm curious. So if you're not learning, if these commercial posts are not how you make a buying decision, let's say, as someone like you who's choosing what products, what tools to use, and you are the owner of the business, there is nobody saying you will use this. It is up to you, and you can make that change yourself should you see it fit. How do you decide what you will choose off the shelves?
Basically by seeing my peers, what they're using and how it benefits them. That's really what I mean. A lot of the stuff I have now is because I've seen other plumbers and HVAC guys using them, and I'm like, hey, wow, that looks pretty cool. And then they're like, yeah, it makes my life easier, it's faster, it's quicker, whatever it is. Even if it's a bit of a higher price point, if it helps me give my customer a better product and gets me on and off the job quicker, I'm all about it. That's basically seeing other guys using it.
Do you have a specific example you can point to, like one where it's just like you'll always remember that Eric Downey said this about that, and it was the one that, you know, or I mean, it doesn't have to be a person, but I'm curious about potentially a post, a video, a tutorial, a testimonial by someone for something that remains with you.
A particular product, probably, but I'd have to think about it. But what did influence me a lot was George the plumber and Rob from Pro Drains. Those guys do drain cleaning a lot, and I never really wanted to get into it. I'm like, I don't want to do drain cleaning, but they're. I actually met with them a few times and talking to them, and they're like, "There's so much money out there in drain cleaning. You're just leaving money on the table by not doing it." And so then it's just research of who's using what machines, what are some of the best machines, and I've been slowly getting myself into it more, getting more comfortable with it. So that's one thing that social media has helped me just for my business and having one more thing to offer my customers.
That's amazing. I really love that because you know, one of the phrases in particular, I'm wearing a Canadian A-team shirt, right? They stress that you know, the community over competition type of thing. Well, I mean, you and George are in different states and different regionalities. There's like, I mean, by the nature of where you guys call home in the service area, there's no competition. So why not just help each other, right? Why not teach each other? Why not uplift the trades and stuff like that?
Yeah, I got there's a kid, I call him a kid, probably because he's 20 years younger than me, but he's an adult. But he just started his own business, doing drain cleaning and light plumbing stuff. He follows me on social media, and he reached out and said, "Hey, I have my own company. If there's any jobs that are, you know, you've got too much work going on, or there's some drain cleaning jobs you can't handle, I've got all of it. I've got jetters, I've got this, I've got that." And there's been some jobs where I'm like, you know what, let's give this guy a shot. So I called him. I said, "Hey, I don't have a machine long enough to get to the obstruction, and it's like 9 o'clock at night at this point." And he said, "Yeah, I'll be right down." He shoots down, takes care of it. He IDs where the problem is in the road. He spray paints it, everything. I had another project because I service there's this hotel chain I service, and they had an obstruction in a line, and I couldn't get there as fast as I wanted to. I called him. He was right there. So that's another way it works. Even locally, it's like, hey, I can't do everything. There's got to be someone. There's got to be other guys there. I can't get to everything all the time.
That's fantastic. Shout out his name. I want to go follow him on. I'm gonna like grab my thing and follow his Instagram right now. Do you know what it is offhand?
Offhand, no, but I can find it. Hang on.
I'm curious.
His name is Shaq. So let me find his.
Shaq. Let's see. We're gonna find him on here. For sure. I'm curious about that because obviously if you support him, I want to support him as well. You say he's a younger guy. That's always great. Part of the reason we do this podcast is to uplift the trades in general, right? And and that, of course, you have to support the younger tradespeople, you know, in that way as well. So I'm always fascinated by that type of stuff, and always want to learn about who's up and coming, and then give them the same support that I offer to someone who's well established like yourself. So yeah, absolutely. Just chat me or DM me his name, or you know, you don't need to find it right now. But I am curious because I definitely want to you know, follow him to at the very least. It costs nothing to follow. It costs nothing to like posts and stuff like that. It's the most basic thing to pump into the algorithm stuff. So I mean, it's worth doing. And I mean, that's one of the things I really find to be very supportive about the trades as well, is how well everybody, more or less. There are of course some outliers, and actually I want to talk about the text you sent me just a minute ago. That's
I'm fine with it.
a fascinating one, just because I'm always, so you know, we're even keel here, right? I mean, I certainly am a man of the internet, and I keep my ear to the ground, and there's, you know, not everybody is as rah, and you know, I mean, I don't want to say supportive, because the person that you mentioned, I do find to be someone who's kind of supportive of the trades. You know, somebody who's strives for professionalism and wants it to be done right. And you know, one might argue. So we're just to be open. We're talking about someone who I call a personal friend, Bob Baker, who is a very polarizing figure on the internet.
Yeah, I've had great conversations with Bob. I like Bob a lot. Matter of fact, I'm looking
Yes.
forward to meeting him down at AHR. Him being there is part of the reason
Oh,
I decided to go this year.
is he coming?
That's what he said. Him and I think Turbo too.
I didn't think Bob was allowed out of Canada.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of my decision to go. Besides the fact Viga asked me to go,
That's
but
fantastic. Well,
even if they didn't ask me to go, I was going to go just so I could meet up with them in person.
So maybe you saw when I was in Calgary a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
and he picked me up. I tagged along with him. I met his sons. We went to a couple of job sites. We were taking pictures. Couldn't have been kinder. We went to lunch. He bought me lunch. I was going to buy him lunch. Usually it goes the other way. Usually it's like the manufacturers who are like, footing the bill for the guys right now. So his,
yep,
his celebrity at the restaurant that he services was amazing. The chef came and said hello to us, came and kissed the ring, like really, really amazing stuff. And I
nice.
mean, Bob couldn't have been kinder. We had a blast that afternoon. Running around, looking at stuff, and I mean, I was asking all my dumb questions, and he, was, treating me like with full respect and teaching me stuff, as if I was like a wide-eyed apprentice or something like that. And
Yeah,
I mean, it was fascinating. And I mean, we had a blast. So that actually excites me. I did not know that he would be going to AHR. Several years he's not went.
yeah,
And I don't think he's went to a couple of even like local trade show type stuff in the Canada area. I mean, he's busy. He's got a
hmm
service company, installation company that runs with his sons that, he's
yeah.
always doing stuff. So, I mean,
And
just like
I can
now,
relate. When I leave, it's like my business is shut down until I come back. So
right,
I understand.
exactly. And I want to say thank you for taking the time out now because it's on a much smaller scale than going to a 3-day show. You're in the same exact type of thing right now where, you could be hustling something. You could be cleaning a drain right now instead of talking to me. But this is part of it too, because, of course, we will share and help promote and show you, and your conversation will uplift the trades and show the positivity, and you're putting out good karma in the world as a result, and hopefully that comes back to you in the same way that other people have done for you in the past, and you're clearly doing for this new drain professional that we were talking about before, whose name we've not found yet. Shaq, you said, but
Yeah.
his handle we'll find,
Well, I'll find
and
his
then
handle.
we'll film out there. So that's fantastic. All right, how many HRs is this for you?
Um, this will be number 4, I think.
4.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
will be
you're
number 4. Yeah. So Vegas,
fantastic.
what was it? Vegas, Atlanta, Chicago, and then
Okay,
now Orlando. Yeah.
are you also bringing a tuxedo down?
No, I am not.
You're not coming to Tactical this year?
No, not this year. No.
How come? Just out of curiosity. Just didn't fit the schedules. I mean, it is what it is,
It does. Yeah. I like it. I had a good time when I went. Um, it was a lot of fun. I like dressing up and
Yeah, we got some great, with some very nice
great
pictures
food.
of you and your wife and me and my wife who were there last year as
Yep.
well.
Yep. So yeah, it was a good time. It just I think I just didn't want to feel rushed, and same thing. It's like a timing thing with work and business and everything.
Totally,
Much time do I want to take out? I have
no
for
question.
Riga, I have to be there a certain day for a certain time, and so I want to putting all those things together and making it work and not having to be a financial burden on my family. I got to take all that into consideration.
No question about it. Understood. And especially considering you are a business owner, not just a cog in the wheel, or the at the helm of a massive enterprise that you can set and forget to keep running. Someone like Terrence, who's got several trucks on the road, he can
Yeah,
go to AHR and still continue to service his area obviously down a person or two. He usually goes with,
yeah,
Calvin comes or Daryl, somebody like that. He brings some people, or Jason rather, but he's still got a functional situation going on over there. So as opposed, you're definitely, a lone wolf out there. Have you ever thought of expanding and hiring people? Is that not something you'd be interested in doing?
Oh,
I mean, clearly,
I think about that on a weekly basis.
do you?
Yeah.
What's the internal monologue kind of sound like? I mean, obviously managing
So
people is a
yeah,
whole other beast.
caveat. So
Yeah,
yeah,
paying
so
health insurance.
I have friends here locally who have multi-million-dollar corporations in construction, and They have employees that I couldn't imagine a payroll for. They got trucks, they got vans, I mean everything. And I see the stress and anxiety they deal with every single day. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that kind of stress. And then at the other time, it's like, oh man, now I got to stress about how I'm gonna if I go on vacation for any extended period of time. Like I think we talked about, I'm going to Ireland in May. It's basically going to be half a month. I'm half a month plus that I'm going to be gone. And then we're going to the Eastern Energy Expo with George, Mike, and Kyle Hatch for boiler build.
I'll see you there.
Right.
Oh, you're doing a boiler build, Eddie? Who's putting that together?
Haven't got all the full detail. Actually, the Eastern Energy Expo themselves are doing it. They're the ones doing it. What boiler we're doing and all that stuff, I have no idea yet.
No doubt.
But we got to be there for two. We got to extend this boiler build for 2 days. So that's immediately when I get back from Ireland. I go from Ireland. I get home on the 18th, and then on the 19th, I drive down to New Jersey.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's like the whole month of May is pretty much toast.
Right, and yeah, that's tough.
So that's the stress that I'm thinking about. Okay, what's gonna happen to my business? So basically, all my regular customers, I tell them this is the span I'm going to be gone. Keep that in mind when scheduling projects. For emergencies, I've been putting out feelers. I'm like, I have 3 people now. 1 out of the 3 have to at any given point in time take care of the emergencies, and it's really only my commercial customers that I need them for. So it shouldn't be too bad.
So are you going to be, just out of curiosity, you're going to be driving on the wrong side of the road in Killarney, and then fielding a call, and then saying, hold on, hang up, dial somebody who's back in Connecticut to say, I need you to do this or this or that while you're out on the road? I mean, is that the kind of quarterbacking that you're going to be doing when you're on vacation? And I'm going to put that in quotes because you own a business. You're really never on vacation fully. You can never totally unplug, let's say.
Yes, that is correct. And there's a time difference, so I'm sure I'll be woken up in middle of the night Ireland time.
Luckily, it's only 5 hours, so it's not the worst. Yes. And you're ahead, so besides, you should be up before any kind of things happen. And if anything that happens like super late, like late night US, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be when it's an issue for you. Like 3 a.m. Ireland time is like 9 p.m. US, New York time, Connecticut time. So hopefully you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. And you can enjoy your time in the Emerald Isle, which, as we've talked about kind of at great length at this point, is very exciting. I'm super excited for you. What a place. We've talked about it, but what are you seeing while you're out there? I'm curious, let everybody know what kind of amazing trip that cleaning drains is going to pay for.
Well, we're actually we're doing a voluntary layover in Iceland. So we're going to be in Iceland for 3 days.
It's a mini vacation.
Yeah. Then from Iceland, we're going to go to Dublin. We're going to land in Dublin, and then we're going to spend some time in Kilkenny for a while, explore everything in that area for a little bit, and then we're going to just drive around the island and for another week after that and see what's going on.
You're going to have a blast. It's a magical place. I cannot endorse Ireland further. It is a magical land. There's music in the air. There is. I know you love music as well. I mean, it's just a place where people are singing in the pubs, and there's a vibe in Ireland that is, to me, it's unlike. I mean, I've been lucky. I've traveled a good bit throughout Europe. Ireland has its own kind of ambiance that is unique to itself. I mean, I guess you can kind of say that about any place, but I mean, to me, that's one that is just, it speaks to me personally. I love Ireland. You're going to have a blast, and you're going. It's the 4 Abaires, right?
Abaires, yes.
Abaires. I'm sorry. That's funny. Abaires. That's like the guy. You should spell it Hebert, like the old the old quarterback guy. It was like Abaire as well.
Yep.
That's Abaire. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We
have the French pronunciation, the English spelling.
Is that what you're like? Are you French? Is that what it is? Okay, so can you trace your lineage back to a specific part of France? Like, do you know when your forebears came over?
I probably could if I really tried. I don't really care that much. I know my great grandparents. on one side are from Fort Kent, Maine, which is all French, and the
Okay.
other side is from Canada.
So French
So
by
French
way
Canadian. So
of
basically,
Canada.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
so
I'm sure there's
imperial.
Parisian French. I'm sure there's Parisian French in there. Obviously, there must be.
Well,
So
I mean, if you trace it far enough back, then Canada before, I mean, so it used to be a split nation where half of it was controlled by France and half of it was controlled by the UK. And I guess the UK booted out the French people overall. I mean, they kept obviously a nice little tight knit stranglehold in the Quebec area, but
yeah,
obviously there's a lot of French influence that came through there that still remains. I mean, do you speak French at all?
no,
No.
not even a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
it's
my grandmother on my dad's side, yeah, native, they're Native American. I don't know, Blackfoot tribe in Canada.
okay.
Anyway,
First Nations.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and they
Fascinating.
actually my grandmother has a picture of her with her great grandmother, and she looks very much Native American.
Wow.
And she
Awesome.
said she was on the reservation. She actually lived on the reservation up there.
Hmm. Fascinating. I mean,
That's pretty
it's
cool.
great. So okay, so you're by way your nationality, ethnicity, whatever is French Canadian by way, by way of France through Canada. Why'd you pick Ireland?
My wife has always wanted to go to anywhere in Europe.
Okay.
We had some friends that last year they did this trip last year and they invited us to go this year. They said, we're going again. You want to join us? We're like, yeah. So we're going with some friends.
Excellent. So this is collectively the Abaire trip abroad. This is the first National Lampoon's Abaire trip to Ireland.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. Are the kids all pumped up? I mean, your kids are a little older, right? You have like young teens, right?
My daughter's 18. My son is 14.
Okay, so teenagers.
But
So
yeah, they're kids. Yeah.
technically 18 is an adult. This is not a minor anymore. So you have an adult and certainly a human being with sentient thoughts and opinions of his own. Are they all pumped up? Are they super excited?
Oh yeah, they're amped. They're ready to go.
Awesome, fantastic. Are they local? I mean, your daughter's 18. Is she out of the house yet? Are you still you got a nice little close knit Abaire family in there?
Yeah, she's still at home. My wife's not in any hurry for her to leave. I'm mixed emotions.
Any thoughts of second generation with your son? Is he interested in the trades at all, or is it the kind of thing, or is he at the stage at 14 where he's rejecting anything that dad does?
Yeah, kind of at that stage. Even younger, I'd take him on a couple jobs, and it was always the smaller ones who were like I was unclogging a toilet or something. It was never anything major construction stuff. Because he was always younger, I was always a little afraid to bring him. I wasn't sure how my
Sure.
customers feel bringing my younger son on a project, for insurance purposes.
Yeah,
So
of
that's all
course.
he ever saw was like drain clean stuff. I was like, I don't want to do plumbing. No way, I'm not being a plumber.
Yeah.
He goes, I want to do carpentry. I'm like, it's your call whenever you want to make it. I said, but it's open. I'll send you to trade school, put you on the apprenticeship. You can work under me if that's what you want.
Hmm.
But for a
So
while, I had a better setup. My daughter getting into plumbing than him. But
really,
yeah, she actually knows quite a bit because she's come with me on quite a few projects. So
I mean, I'm sure
she can
just through
she can handle herself with a plumbing emergency. That's for sure.
yeah, I mean, I think just by osmosis, right? Just by just as adjacency to how you've put food on the table for them forever, you got to pick up something, right? I mean, a little bit.
Yep.
It's just the nature of you're you live in the plumbing world, right? You are a press master, right? This is there's accolade. You're not just a plumber. You're like a bedazzled plumber. You know what I mean? You're a notable plumber, right? So I mean that's a little bit different than your average journeyman, without some of the other accolades that you've obviously earned. Are they so? Do your children know that you're like an influencer? Do they know that you are sort of a coveted plumber guy who press technology people are going to foot the bill for their airfare and stuff like that? Do they get that that's not everybody gets that?
They know whether they get it or not. I really don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I still don't really get it. I mean,
That's
I'm just
actually That's a perfect
for me,
segue.
I'm a plumber that uses Instagram, and there's a few companies that want to work with me. That's basically how I look at it. I mean, let's. It may sound a little hypocritical. I hate the word influencer. I don't know why. I just every
I don't
time,
like it either.
even every time I hear it in reference to me, I kind of get like, ugh. You
I think
know? I don't know why, but it makes me feel a little icky. But
so.
I understand that's the only term that's associated with it.
Well, it's like the corporate term, unfortunately. It
Yeah.
makes sense. It is a useful descriptor. I
Mhm.
too don't like it. I feel like Centrotherm itself has become a bit of an influencer of its own in its own way. And I do want to tie this a little bit back to your experience in Miami. But I also don't love that term, though I do find it very useful and descriptive in certain settings, of course.
Sure.
And I feel as though the ick stuff makes you means that you're like an actual human being with a conscience, right? If you're really leaning into that, it's like, are you actually a plumber first, or are you or is that your main goal, right? And if that's your goal,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. But like, let's be honest about it, and that kind of thing, right? And there are certainly
Yeah.
people who are much more media centric than the trades centric in some respects, right?
And that
Nobody
kind
that
of
we
goes
really work with.
and that kind of goes back to our previous conversation, what we started at. We're kind of jumping around a little bit. Like you got these guys on this app that really care about what others think so much, and then you got I'm just gonna say there's some guys on here that care about what Bob thinks way too much. If
Sure.
this is what you want to do, who cares what Bob says? Just go do it. And then the flip side, why does Bob care what these guys are doing? I'm like, what do you care? Who cares? Let them live their life. Why does it affect you? It doesn't. It doesn't affect. I could care less. If this social media influencer thing continues on, great. I'll ride the wave. If it doesn't, I still have a career that I can fall back on. I'm not.
Sure.
I have what I have because of the trade, because of plumbing, and because of HVAC. That's it. I'm not going to jump ship and just start promoting products. This thing could end tomorrow. We saw what happened with TikTok in 14 hours. People lost their mind. They were worried about how they're going to pay their mortgage and pay their new car notes. It was nuts.
Yeah,
I
that's wild.
could
I
care
mean,
less. I'm like, let it go. I don't care.
so
It's
so to
great, but
to
whatever.
me, as your doctor, I find that to be a very professional and healthy understanding of all of this type of stuff. It can be all encompassing. It can be overwrought. It can be overexposed. It can go wrong in a lot of ways. But to me, I share the exact mentality that you have right there in a lot of ways. Obviously, I come from a manufacturing side versus the actual the end user, let's call it. So, but I agree with you pretty much across the board, which is funny because I want to ask you about something that we invited Bob to go to, which is the Miami thing, right? So you
Yep.
are a veteran of both events, which there's only about 17, 18 people who can claim that they were at both times. So I know it's almost exactly a year. Actually, at AHR will be the 1 year anniversary of the last time that we were in Miami together. I just am curious, a year on, to get your impressions of that, including from the beginning, from the first time around, what you thought that was. Did you have a good time? Would it be something you would do again? Was it insane? Was it interesting? I mean, just sort of give me your impressions, soup to nuts, of to what that whole shenanigans was.
Yeah. So with the first one, I'm not gonna lie. I had my reservations about going. Like, I got some random message from from an account. Like, all right. So I actually did actually, who did I call? I called George and I called Terrence and I video conferenced them. Like, hey, is this thing real? What is this? Am I being conned? They're like, nope, we did our background check. It's real. I'm like, all right. So we ended up going, and I actually enjoyed it. Both times I had a blast. I'll be honest. Both times I had a
Awesome.
lot. The second time I had more fun. I liked, especially the baseball game. I thought that was a blast. And the inside wiffle ball, that was awesome. I had a good time with that one. And
That's why I love to hear that.
the scavenger hunt was fun too.
And you were on team. You, as I understand it, the East Coast team had a good laugh. Or definitely a good time out on doing that stuff. So I love to hear that. I like to keep it light and fun and interesting while
Mhm.
also uplifting the trades too. And that's why there was AC tech people, service tech people, refrigeration folks were invited. I mean, this was not a direct sales pitch situation where it was all the direct sell, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. Like that is the
Yeah.
quickest way to, I think, turn people off
Right.
overall.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
me, it was much more of a celebration of the trades and also community situation where we brought some people some of whom have long-standing friendships together. And I mean, it was a bit of an HVAC and plumbing reunion of sorts.
Mhm.
And now I think that there's a bit of a, anybody who was there and kind of experienced it together, it's sort of like going to a music festival together. Like, it's sort of like an intimacy accelerator in some respects, because we kind of lived together for, 2.5 days,
Mhm.
and, we ate together, we drank together, we did whatever else was going on, whatnot. And, more or less had a low pressure, fun time, more or less.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
glad you
I
had a
think
good time.
and if I think if we all had to sit through a sales pitch, I probably wouldn't have come back the second time.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
question.
which
I
is
would
which
want
is
to. I
why
would want to.
I enjoyed what you guys are doing, because your brand is there. We know who's throwing it. We know the products, and at the same time, we're learning about the products, because even in the games, they're using your products.
Yeah, we fit them in
Every
as where we
you know
can.
so we know, we understand, and that leaves to me, that left a better impression of your company and your product than sitting through a sales pitch and just like, all right, guys, do what you want. Thanks for coming to Miami. There's the beach. Here's a bar. Here's
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, go do your own thing. Yeah.
That actually sits well with me and made me remember you guys for all future installs, more so than if I had to sit through a whole, hey, this is why we're the best.
Well, I really appreciate that, because that is, I share that, right? Like, this is not a timeshare pitch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where it's like quid pro quo. You get airfare to Miami, but we get your attention here or something like that. That was like, never what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Never what I wanted to. Because I feel as though it would be like, okay, great. Maybe somebody who's interested in going to Miami for the first time sits through it, but what are you going to sit through it? You sit through it while you like scroll on your phone and like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, pipes,
Mhm.
great, we love it, and then
Yeah.
lip service until check the boxes and then split, and then it erase your memory of it, as opposed to we had a field day, we had sports, we had events and scheduled and all this kind of stuff, and the product, of course, is in the background, but it was never a these are our USPs, here's our catalog, here's our this and here's our that, and and
Mhm.
you buy this now, you owe it to us now because of this and all that. Like, that's the quickest way to turn people off, in my opinion. So,
Yeah,
so
because
I'm glad.
especially as business owners and tradesmen, we get sales pitches every day. We're constantly being bombarded with it, and after a while, you're just like, I just don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah,
Yes, I know
totally.
you're there. Yes, I'll use your stuff because it's either because that's the only thing I can get in my market, or because I actually like the stuff. You
Yeah,
know, and
indeed.
yeah,
So, um, so I've taken up a lot of your time already, and I know that
that's fine.
you've got to get back to rolling, your small business, that you control all of the factors, and every minute you spend with me is not, help, going towards your bottom line. Although, I guess soft, we're going to help you with branding. We're going to feature your logo on the promotion of this podcast, but we've
Exactly,
taken
exactly.
we've taken
And
taken
every
a lot of
minute
your
I have
time
with
here.
you, Matt, is just another blessing of a day.
Indeed. We always end with a little bit more sort of personal stuff, kind of thing, right? So when you're at the job site, let's say you are going through the motions, I don't know, doing something that you're bent over and you're just kind of in there. Do you have the headphones on? Are you listening to something? What kind of music? What are you listening to, either there or like driving back and forth between job sites? Effectively, I'm asking, what's your favorite band? What kind of music you listen to? That kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. So I basically have music going all the time. um, so a lot of, like, when I was, it just kind of rolled over. So I basically like a lot of ska, some punk rock and
So
hardcore.
I know this about you
Oh,
already, but I want
I know you
the
do.
audience to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I have what a lot of people don't know is I actually have a commercial with like a jingle on it and everything, and it was made during COVID by Krista Makes from Less Than Jake. So I don't know if anyone knows.
How have I never heard this?
It's in my Instagram. If you scroll down, it's in there.
We're gonna have to embed this into the chat, like right now.
Tap plumbing and heating, we know plumbing best. From exterior to interior, you can put us to the test. No job too big, no job too small. We're on call, day and night, dependable and reputable. Where the price is always right. We fix drains and leaky pipes, bathroom remodels and additions, water heater swap outs to repiping old systems, residential to commercial and everything in between. We'll repair that clogged or running toilet, satisfaction guaranteed. At Tap Plumbing and Heating, we know plumbing best. At Tap Plumbing and Heating, we know plumbing best. No job too big, no job too small. We're on call day and night, dependable and reputable, where the price is always right.
You can find us online at tapplumbing.net or call 860-540-6724.
Right, and we're gonna put that in there right at that moment. Jordan, I want you to make a note. When I do this in the video, we got to put in Travis's ska jingle that was made by the guy from Less Than Jake, which is a pretty, I don't know if you know them. Jordan's a young guy over there. This Gen Z, I don't know what he's listening to, EDM only, I guess. I don't know what the youth is into these days. But
It's
but Less Than Jake is, I mean, how do you know that guy? Did you?
I don't really know him. I don't know him at all, actually. So during COVID, everything was shut down, locked down. No one could do anything. So all these bands and were looking for creative ways to continue making money doing what they do. And so he decided to hang on. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
My wife was calling me.
Tell her I say hello.
I will. So one thing he did, he decided he was going to write jingles, whether it's for anniversaries, special events, special occasions, businesses. And so I saw it for a little while, and I said, you know what? Let me find out how much it is. And I'm like, really? Yeah, I'm all in.
Do it. Amazing. That's fantastic.
And then he had a business partner that actually did the actual animation for the actual commercial.
Shame on me that I'm not aware of this, honestly. I am so curious about this. Like, as soon as we hang up, I'm going to go and scroll through your Instagram to go find this.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to look at that. So ska primarily, is that, and that maintains, I mean, ska is interesting because it goes in waves, of course. I think ska is in a little bit of a lull now, but
a lot of those old bands are actually touring again, and yeah, and I guess you're right. It's mostly guys like around our age that are going to these concerts. Very, very few younger ones. I went to a reunion show for a band called the Pilfers not that long ago, and there's a bunch of other bands from that era, and there's some young kids, some younger kids in their 20s that had their own ska band. There's like 8 of them up on stage, and they were phenomenal. But for the most part, there's a bunch of gray heads there.
Yeah, I feel that. I want to know when the Voodoo Glow Skulls are going on tour.
They're on tour.
Are they tour right now?
I believe so. It's very, very select. I think mostly like big festivals, but yeah.
That would be so my favorite band of all time is Fishbone, which is ska-ish, but not exactly. And they're actually going to play in France really soon. And now I'm Googling Voodoo Glow Skulls to see where they're touring, if it's coming anywhere near me, because I want to see. Okay, so that's a couple of festivals I see here. This is Vegas in November. They're playing with Offspring and a couple of other, Pennywise. When is this one? Punk in the Park, San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah. I almost thought about going to that because of the line. Because they have so many lineups there.
Oh, I mean, this one's a crazy lineup too. Ska Nation Music Festival, November. Oh, this is all last year though. They got to update their website. This is all last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Voodoo Glow Skulls. I bet you. I will say that this is the first time that the Voodoo Glow Skulls has been mentioned on the Centrotherm podcast. Hopefully not the last.
You're welcome.
Yeah, appreciate it. That's amazing. And we nothing's off limits, and we go in any direction we want to take it here in the mechanical room. So
perfect.
So fantastic, Travis. It's been wonderful chatting with you, sir. I'll let you get back
Same
to your
here.
day. Please say what's up to your wife. I will
I will.
definitely speak to you before you go to Ireland and AHR and all that sort of stuff. But I'll see you at AHR.
Couple weeks.
And I look forward to hearing and seeing some photos from your travels and all that sort of stuff. And as always, keep up the great work. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Anytime.
All right.
All right. We'll cut it right
Cool.
there. So yeah, we'll chop the recording at that point. And
Okay.
yeah, if you want to send me a couple of photos or whatever you want, we'll embed it sort of into the interview and use it in like the thumbnail and stuff like that. So if you have a particular photo you want us to use, otherwise we just go to your Instagram and grab whatever we want, more or less. So if there's something particular you want, send it over. We are super, super busy now. I don't anticipate this episode coming out on YouTube till probably end of next week, I would say. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair? So end of next week. I don't think we talked a lot about AHR, so this is pretty green until the show. So whatever Jordan had, which he's got a shitload of priorities right now. So and this becomes kind of a lower one overall in terms of stuff as we go towards AHR. We're working on some insane amount of things right now, getting stuff ready for. We're introducing condensate neutralizers. We've got some other new product stuff, and we're waiting for samples. We're also doing a rep event, so we have like a hospitality event on that Tuesday night.
Mhm.
I'm also presenting at the Tactical Awards, so I mean, not that I have to get ready for that, but I got to bring a tuxedo. I'm wearing a Centrotherm colored tuxedo.
Yep. Oh, cool. That's funny.
I don't think it's cool at all. It's loud as hell, but it's certainly something. So awesome, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Always a pleasure, amigo. Obviously, when you get back or in between AHR and your trip, perhaps the door is open for a part 2 that we can do in the studio here. Come and take the tour. Come and you tell me when. I would love to. So the ideal way to do this. The ideal way to do this is however you want to do it, but a way that could work, that makes sense to me often is like, let's say you come up, you work a full day, drive up, it's 2 hours or so, I think, from where you are. I'll take you to dinner. We'll get you a hotel room. Bring your wife.
Okay.
And then, so we'll get you a hotel room up here. Then we'll come to the factory early the next morning, do a tour, do some media stuff, say hello, introduce you to people, and then we can have you back on the road. Like you could take a job in the afternoon at that point. You know what I mean? So try to impact you as little as possible while maximizing your time up here. So keep that in the.
Yeah. So the reason I choose Wednesdays is because my apprentice has Wednesdays off. So it's easier that way. I don't have to like think about, okay, how am I going to pay it? So it'd be like it'd be ideal if like a Tuesday night into a Wednesday would be
perfect.
ideal.
Absolutely. That being said, if there's value to bringing your young Padawan, then that's another thing we can discuss as well.
I gotta pay him.
Well, fair enough. Well, then don't pay him. I mean, I at Centrotherm could foot his meals in a hotel room for him. So I mean, that thing makes it easier at least. I mean, in theory, it's almost like a day off. I mean, I'm not telling you how to do. You do whatever you want to do. You do whatever you want to do. But that being said, if there was value to bringing him up here, we can help accommodate that as well.
Okay.
So keep the doors open. The doors open for you whenever you want to come up.
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome.
All right. We'll make that happen in between HR and May 1st.
You tell me when. Tell me when. We're here for you, man.
All right. Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.
You got to see you, Jordan.
Fantastic.